Welcome to Onivia Highlights. These are the best highlights of today's Demacia Cup matchup.
I mean, for the 1xN Tier 2 boots, being able to match Jackie Love, no huge advantage has been netted for.
Can't believe it. I'm sure TES are probably not too unhappy with the state of affairs right now. Again, they are a team that I think we are expecting to see how they're able to do. Satap now. Okay.
Oh, I think Satap might just be gone. He tries to dash back with the distortion and dodge out on this all-in.
Wait a minute.
Flashing over the wall. They eventually get it, and the arrow from 1xN, unfortunately, is just a little too late. First out of lane by himself, so ThunderTalk are well in position, while, once again, not massively ahead in gold. They are still in position to execute on their game plan as they're making the siege on top side.
TS just look a little slow on the map. We're going to get that fight now.
Maybe it could be Feather just taking so much damage, and I guess they didn't know Kanavi was in the area, or at least underestimated their ability to turn that. And once again,
very minor lead, all things considered, at 13 minutes here. 2,000 gold, almost 1,000 after this dragon is spawning. So it's mid-wave, and Feather moving bottom lane says to me that they just want to try to make this dive happen. They're going to give up this Herald and really focus on getting a first turret here and overload on the map.
And for ThunderTalk's, credit, the rest of top esports aren't really committing to Rift Herald side just yet. It is just now Jackie Love is getting priority of the mid wave before Kanavi can move on over onto the top side.
Going into a fight. And as long as TT are able to pull them around the map, like we've seen in these last 15 minutes, TT can very easily grow themselves a gold lead, get themselves an item advantage, and then come into what I'm going to assume is
due to top esports being insanely decisive on a couple of picks so far. And with this Rift Herald crash into the tier 1 in the mid lane, you might look for another crash, but it's not going to be in the mid lane. They're going to roam on down. Come on, Drift King. Let's see if you've put your time in that practice tool. Oh, good Drift. Really solid curves and turns, and Kanavi's just
golden lead that they're able to gain from that.
Yeah.
And in mid lane, we actually saw Jackie Love throw out his ultimate. Feather open up the rest of this map. We'll see if TT can make another play. Again, they have the Ashe ultimate as well, so similar to them on this side. Oh, Satap didn't even use his distortion.
Oh, I mean, his passive pops, but Chris has been locked down and center, and Satap is now just gone from the fight.
There it is, wait a minute.
Ashe arrow right onto Jackie Love. He doesn't have cleanse anymore, but there's no proper follow-up from the rest of ThunderTalk. Here comes Cream, looks for the backline assassination, but just not enough damage as he has to take his retreat away from 1xN. Now Hoya trying to get into the front backline. Jackie Love falls to 1xN, he finds his moment, he flashes back into the safety of his team. He's kiting back with the arrows. Hoya completely running amok in the backline and dancing back into his own team for safety, choosing his moment, but 369 goes all out into Hoya, trying to play around with Cream. They're looking for 1xN. The bailout not enough as Hoya tries to do everything he can before he has to leap strike back to safety. 369 and Cream.
No longer any kind of real bailout. They don't have the damage to be able to get the reset as well. So, like you were saying, the solo laners of TES, and I think the terrain just doing a lot of work and favors for them here as 1xN now.
Beichuan with the engage, looking for Jackie Love once again. Remember that he does not have any summoner spells, and it's an easy pickup for ThunderTalk. It's Feather that gets the kill credit, and for top esports now down to Marksman.
The fact that the teams are required to have at least a majority of their LPL roster going into the next year. That was one of the reasons that I think Demacia Cup might have been exciting for different reasons. Most so grabbing the attention and getting some hype generated for the teams and what they can kind of look like. And if TT can continue the level of performance, oh my god,
oh my goodness,
all right, so Cream, I'm gonna keep going. I think there's not much. Oh, we're investing TP. Okay, never mind. All right, let's do this.
He just flashed, doesn't have perfect execution anymore, and Hoya is just going to close the distance with the helicopter dong, ensures that the counter-strike lands. Nowhere else for Cream to go, but so much pressure. That was pretty much all 4 members all chasing Cream down on the top side of the map, which opens up this minion wave push with Kanavi and Jackie Love to secure the tier 2 turret in the mid lane. So still another advantage for top esports. And as you were mentioning already, top esports having so much firm control of the map, it's still only for the squishy marksman, as now Cream starting to weave his way around that right flank. Arrow
Those are
He's right.
huge cooldowns down now. We saw that they used the ultimate from Ashe. There's also no handshake, so there's a small timer here. Kanavi going for global
Is he
red
doing
buff
for
here,
red
expecting
buff?
that his team won't be able to they won't be able to take the dragon in time. Kanavi,
Sejuani
Uh-oh.
ulti thrown out. Cream is now into the backline. Kanavi now has arrived to the party. Cream is popping the stasis to buy some time with that Zonya's Hourglass. Here comes Hoya, tries to stall as long as he can, flashes away, but he gets assassinated, and here comes the rest of Top Esports. They find the flip. Good night, 1xN. Bishwan could be next as he flashes to safety. Feather trying to make the escape, but Kanavi is giving him the double knuckle down. Kanavi wants to make a statement. He is one of the best junglers in the LPL, and he is not letting go of that crown.
There we go. TES, they explode. We finally get a massive team fight victory for them. It's Ocean Soul, it's Baron, and TES are looking to put the finishing touches on a Game 1 victory. TT, man. Look, they have a lot of momentum. We saw yesterday that Weibo were able to take the first game, and then they made their sweep on the back end of that series. TT, I think, are going to have to go back to
Funny
the
ulti
drawing.
just stops Cream in his tracks. Thunder Talk maintain the defense and siege for now, but now they have to deal with a minion wave that is creating an opportunity for Top Esports to look their way into the base through mid lane.
Ooh, I love this from Cream, just playing on the limits there. Also gets the flip back in after using it on his the smoke bomb. So great job from TES. They're playing this really, really well. I think the only avenue we can see from TT is if Satab can get another item, maybe get to level 16, getting the additional point in that ultimate could be really huge. But Cream with, dude, I mean, he has Ocean Soul. Every time he takes damage, he just heals. He can one-shot the back line. I think there's very little wrong. Now with Kanavi next to him with his Baron buff, it's only going to get tougher and tougher here for TT. So whatever items they have in their inventory, whatever kind of experience they have now, this has to be their last stand if they want to be able to stay in this game and even fight for a Game 1 contest.
And if they don't do anything, then Top Esports are just going to continue taking structures one by one. Bottom side of the map, this tier 2 turret will fall. I don't think Cream is going to overstay his welcome.
I was a little question mark. I was like, I don't know if we really need to show a replay, but when it's to show how little damage Ashe does to a Cassandra champ, I'm okay with that. Here we go.
Look at all the CC out. There was a beautiful solar flare into the knockup from 369 as Kanavi sends it into the backline. Q flash right into Satab through 1xN's face. I mean, how cracked is this guy, man? Thunder Talk are not going to withstand the siege and the pressure. Top Esports don't drop a single man as they send the siege into the Nexus and will take Game 1 against Thunder Talk.
It was a slow first 15 minutes here for TES, but it seems like the sleeping giants have awoken so far here. It's only Game 1, so a lot of series still left to play in a best of 5, but a very dominant one away at their opponents. And it's going to be on, you know, Hoya and Feather as the main engage to not only be able to tank up damage, but also secure those waves. I don't think Chris is going to have time to really get all the way around this map, especially with Feather and him kind of forcing him around the map.
And it's just so hard to actually deny camps from something like Azira. The fact that if you still have access to a second quadrant after your first clear, you clear camps so fast, and you're able to easily just transition this over to a potential dive. As 369, he's doing a great job of holding the minion wave and killing it against Hoya, who can't really do that much damage, just as a Maokai flashes the dredge line from Feather, and now they have to initiate the dive, but Feather's starting to take up the turn shots, and he has to drop aggro because they're not going fast enough. Baseline takes a nasty amount of damage off of that last turret shot since it had been ramping up, and now Chris is actually doing enough base damage.
Wait a minute!
The flip! Holy kaboli! 369, and Chris might have just outplayed this turret dog.
What
are you doing? Tries to go in, but there's no minions to take it up. It's just absolute disaster in the top side, and 369 and Chris just made Thunder Talk look like Thunder Clowns.
Oh, wait a minute. Chris is still looking now. Beishuan's back. The wave isn't crashing just yet. TT, if they want this to really work, they need to be able to get this. This entire time, Kanavi has been farming. So if this does not go the way of TT, the game is over from a jungle position.
Now he gets the shield from the crash down. Finally, they pick up one kill, and the second one, the nightmare is over for Thunder Talk, but it is just begun, because here comes Kanavi. Beishuan has no choice but just to execute himself to the minion wave, as now Kanavi will pick up at least one kill, finds the dredge line on a minion to close the distance against Hoya. He's trying to get the killing blow, but the flash advantage for Thunder Talk, considering that they have 2 kills to 1, but it could have been so much worse.
Kanavi's trying to make a play for this, and you know that Cream has ultimate. I think that you should be looking for this, especially with how close Kanavi. If he can get another kill, if he can steal another grub, this can be them setting up with a really big win. 369 is here as well. TES should be contesting this last grub for sure, I think, in my opinion.
Hoya tries to lock up Kanavi. Doesn't have flash anymore, but they
There's
get
the
the kill,
reset.
and he's gonna get. Oh, but he just dies right before looking for the possession of the reset. Saytab flashing away from 369, looks for one last mace blow. Cream doesn't have enough mana. Oh my goodness, Saytab survives with less than 50 HP off the back end of it. The big hero for Thunder Talk.
Honey is only able to throw maybe 1 or 2 spells. He gets his ultimate off, and then this right here, 1 honey fruit. One of 369 didn't grab 1 of them. So yeah, Saytab just gets 3 of them, and now we're making a play into Cream. Saytab gets another kill. It's now 6-2 in favor of TT. They can make a look onto this dragon. Early game, yet again, going over to the favor of Thunder Talk.
And being put, further and further behind where Cream was getting the advantage. The fact that this Corki is going to come online a lot faster as now. 1xN is in trouble. He's in the death realm with 369, and Feather is going to try and give him assistance once he pops back out. And 369 does flash over the thorns from Beishuan and will at least trade 1 for 1 before trying to retreat back into the safety of his own side of the map, but doesn't have another second cast of that shield. Does go down to Beishuan. And Top Esports, at least in their top laner, will find an advantage by himself.
Man. It's unfortunate for 1xN that he ends up going down in that trade. It takes a lot of, I think, the wind out of TT sails. Looks like TES do want to try to make this play. They're bringing over 3 members to die of Hoya. Oh, no W now.
Nice shattering strike into the crashdown guaranteed combo. Kanavi picks up the reset as well. We saw a true shot barrage from 1xN trying to kill the minion wave to give Hoya a little bit more time, but just not enough to survive. Top Esports still trying to find their way back into stabilizing this gold deficit they find themselves in against Thunder Talk. Will be able to pick up first brick of the game. Nice amount of gold injected back into their pockets.
Good structure take here coming out from Top's bottom lane, as they've really focused on making sure that Jackie Love is able to get gold for himself as a large portion of their teamfight damage. When we take a look at this game with the Misfortune alongside Cream, looks like they're going to be investing teleports.
Slowly shifting his way to the grub pit, as Kanavi is going to be the first one into the river.
Okay, that's 1 grub already taken here for TT. Corki's going to have first move into this play.
Feather was looking for that engage. Hoya already throws out the ultimate. Saytab, and making his way on over. Hoya has lost a huge amount of HP, below 50% HP.
Feather.
Kanavi gets this huge smite. Chris going in onto the back line. A lot of damage from Jackie Love through the bullet time. Feather's the only one that's taking up really any damage. And Kanavi goes for the first reset, finds the Nautilus, flashes right on top into the back line, and here they come. But Saytab manages to pop Kanavi before he gets another reset in. Saytab trying to empty the full Corky clip.
What
starting off as Jackie Love picking up a quadra in the back half of it. He was left unchecked, and when that happens, Jackie Love will managing to live through the burn as the rest of Thunder Talk are able to bully the rest of Top Esports away from that first tier 1 turret. True shot barrage. I was curious to see if he was trying to look for a miracle snipe on the Kanavi as he recalled into the base, but might have been a little too early. Maybe just
expecting to be able to win Demacia Cup and also have really great performances coming into LPL 2025.
And it puts a big highlight for Saytab and Beishuan to really sync up, because as you pointed out, Jackie Love to be the first ones into that Dragon Pit, so they can deny that soul point potential from Top Esports, as you were mentioning. Cream on that top side of the map, picking up another tier 1 turret for Top Esports, 3 to their name.
Grab this again. 5 grubs is just so inevitable. We saw part of the reason why Team 1 was able to win the World Championship is the fact that they were able to recognize how powerful grubs are and just overlook. Look, the level 2 dive didn't go well. And he's just been playing Maokai into Mordekaiser, which is pretty miserable. Oh, we're finding an engage.
And you know what? An engage on a support might not seem the most ideal thing, but it allows for a 1 reset for Kanavi, and having access to something like a Nautilus guarantees any pick falling up onto something like Hoya, who has been isolated thanks to the Death Realm popped by 369. And just like that, Alk, Top Esports, 2 free back-to-back kills creates a 5-to-3 man advantage on the map.
I mean, what is on here?
Yeah, and it doesn't even matter that, you know, this is a new, or, you know, a different roster for Top Esports as we get another fight into the blue side jungle. Kanavi might have gone a little too far on that one. No resets for him. Chris taking a lot of damage from Satap as he flashes back over the wall. Cream looking for one more reset off of this Orbit Deception. Now gets another cast of that Spirit Rush. Should be fine. True Shot Barrage
Oh,
from 1xN. Woo! And Baseline is going to get the kill credit thanks to the burn from the Leandri's Torment, but that is all credit to 1xN having the guts to be able to go in with that Arcane Chip, find a little bit of extra damage, and it's just a nice hero moment for him. You know, 0-3 and 5 does not tell the story.
Probably should have gone over to him, but still, the game is very tough. The gold is still starting to climb back. 3,500 gold here for TES in advantage. And we've got Dragon spawning in 2 minutes. Looks like they're going to try and make a play and look for summoner spells.
Oh, and Feather was trying to lock down Cream on the entrance there, but goes a little too far forward. Is still surviving, but can't say the same about Beichuan, who fell on the right side of that fight. And with the Death Throne popped, there's nowhere that Hoya can go once again. And we saw why this Mordekaiser was locked in as soon as they saw the Maokai. Yes, the Maokai, even with no econ, with no gold, you can still be reliable. But if you don't get to be in the fight at all, then you don't get to really play the game and contribute to the side of Thunder Talk.
If TT were able to snowball this game, I think we could have seen a little bit, oh my god, Satap, what are we? We are just going forward. Okay, respect.
I mean,
he knows he doesn't have ultimate. He should be able to just pressure them off. Remember, 5 grubs hitting on mid. This will be the Baron here for TES. But what I want to talk about before, am I going to be able to allowed to? Cream?
I mean, Satab is going to try to create as much space as he can, but Cream, no flash, but Jackie Love should be easily able to auto him over the wall. I mean, I think it's fair credit to Thunder Talk just getting
ended up being used as more so them being able to push. 1xN tries to go for the True Shot Barrage steal, doesn't end up making it happen. It's still about 2,000 damage off, and really during all of that play, TS just barely able to get some damage on the mid lane. Tab is just dead. That's a flash from 369.
Yeah, nice Q flash, and I didn't even realize he built a rocket belt this game, but considering the amount of champions that have so many dashes to get away from, it's a nice pickup. And meanwhile, on the bottom side of the map, you know, 369 was cooking on the top side, and Jackie Love just picks up another quadra kill for himself. Unfortunate for him that Satab was on the other side, as he cannot pick up that pentakill that definitely could have been his. But Top Esports, a statement win to come back even after such a advantageous play around that first rotation of grubs. It's not enough from Thunder Talk, and now Top Esports, not the most exciting, you know, playmaking marksman that I was thinking of. I was going to try and see if I could get your opinion on it.
Even with Chris being here.
Yeah, it's a 4-man strong push from the side of Thunder Talk. I think Top Esports are just calling this audible and saying it's a little too dangerous to TP in. Just as I say that, they're going to go for it, and Chris will emerge from Fog to try and see if they can pull off some of that magic we saw in the second game. Already, Beishuan has to dip from the stacking turret aggro, and now it resets. Thunder Talk waiting for their moment to wait for those cooldowns, get them back up. Good charge, but Beishuan dodges out of the way before the Ignite eventually gets him, but it doesn't because he flashes over the wall, and Chris cannot get another bit of damage to finish off the kill. And this time, learning from their woes in that second game, Dimitri, Thunder Talk pull off a clean, you know, angle you're going for, because, you know, when we're trying to convince, you know, someone who is a defender. Hang on. Satab is in trouble, and Kanavi just has too many dashes to be able to keep up with Satab. Able to step in as a second man is enough to force Satab and Feather back off, trying to fight for control of that minion wave, but Satab is forced to concede it for now, as now Chris and Kanavi are going to threaten him under the tower. And it looks like Chris could have actually just solo killed him by himself, but making sure to donate that kill credit, just throwing in strays. And oh, come on, man. Leave me alone.
There is no justice, no peace out on these rifts.
And it's definitely no peace for Satab, as he can't even get a crumb of the minion wave, as Kanavi and Chris come in straight in and bullying him away from the tower. As 369 is going to endure himself against Hoya. Now that there's no CC from this minion, is going to just throw out the Call of the Forge God. I mean, 369 Definitely looked like he was in trouble, but now Kanavi and Crisp, they surfed on over to mid lane, pushed Satab out. They're going to do the same to Hoya. Not necessarily in lethal range, but just the pressure alone.
It is a massive win for TES, as now ThunderTalk are not really in a great position to help contest for these grubs.
And Beichuan might be in trouble here. Still has Flash available, throws out the Crescent Guard, pushes Crisp away, and forces him to battle dance back to safety. A teleport is coming in from 369, but he's on the other side of that wall. He's gonna try to take up as much as it, but he is forced to flash after losing more than 75% of his HP. Second rotation of grubs. 2 have been picked up by Top Esports, so now they've secured 4 for themselves. ThunderTalk, they need to escort Beichuan into range so that they can look for it, and it's actually 1xN that gets the 4th bullet, but the fight emerges and erupts, and Crisp is the first one to fall. A good tempered fate stops Kanavi in his tracks and tries to dissuade any moment for Top Esports to look for the further engagement. Kanavi throws down the Cyclone, but flashes already came out from the side of ThunderTalk, as now the curtain call looking for one more bullet, but it's not enough to finish off Jackie Love, and ThunderTalk somehow stand tall in the fight.
What a messy fight here from
Well, there's still a chance for potentially Cream to pick up an MVP this game if he finds his moment on this advantage from the Jhin to be able to give a little bit of that acceleration and love back into other carries as teleports are coming in.
Okay, both top laners are coming in from different sides of the fight. 1xN is currently farming in mid, but this Herald is almost down, and there's no jungler in the area.
Oh, really good tempered fate. Cream could be the target here. Here comes Call of the Forge God as it splits up the fight. Kanavi secures the Rift Herald, but someone needs to walk over and pick up the gem, but they're going to turn for the fight first.
Ooh.
Kanavi and Chris finding their way through the front and the back line as Top Esports now seem to have the majority of the fight on their side. But my screen is frozen, so we're going to see if we can jump back to live. As now we are back. Cream flashing forward, looking to pressure 1xN, dodging out on the Feather Flash, but the Cosmic Binding does not get locked up right in between those 2 towers. Is now 1xN looking for that base, should be safe. Cream just making sure that the rest of the red side jungle quadrant in order to take that without any contest from ThunderTalk. This wave pushing into the tier 1 turret on the bottom side of the map, that shall be knocked down eventually here. Cream just taking his sweet time with it and making sure that ThunderTalk have no realistic way of being able to safely get vision down so that they can make this entrance. This should be a fairly easy macro take for Top Esports.
So for everybody at home, for any of our would-be potential observers in the future, especially with a champion like Victor, because we don't have the stacks or how many times he's been able to upgrade, we only can really tell by looking at his abilities when he uses them. I was right, he's just waiting to get his level 16, or his second point to be able to put more into his ult. That's what I want to see. We got a dragon starting here now, though, as 269 is nowhere in the area.
Tempered Fight just pushes Cream off to the side. Kanavi flash over the wall. Cyclone right onto 1xN. That forces his own flash away. And he is completely out of the fight, but he's got a curtain call. He's going to fish for some bullets. Cream has to stand behind the rest of the front line. And he should be relatively safe unless he can bend it like Beckham around the front line. Woohoo! That was surprisingly a little close for comfort there, but Jackie Love is the one that absorbs the bullet. And 369 wasn't even there at the fight. Still has TP, was just pushing on the top side of the map pretty comfortably. And now we got a second teleport, or just a teleport in general, coming in from Cream. They want this turret, and they're going to pressure Satab off of it. Or maybe not so much, unless they force it. Okay.
5 grubs? 4 grubs? Okay, we're TPing. We're fighting for this, boys.
Well, Call of the Forge God does knock him up, but Satab jumps in with the Between Worlds, gets a decent slow and damage off. Hoya needs to go into Mega Gnar form if he wants this fight to work out, but Crisp is looming around the shadows. They get the animation canceled for the Mega Gnar fully off, but Crisp predicts the hop back from Satab, provides the knockup, gives the alley-oop 369 to dunk his face on, and Cream picking up the kill on the Hoya. And I don't know, Dimitri, this looks pretty done and dusted for ThunderTalk. They are now 5
favorite coming into this tournament. ThunderTalk, I think, have put up a great run up against some other teams here, and even making it to the semis.
And Top Esports are going to continue hammering in this advantage as they look for the dive. Feather tries to prevent the dive from happening and stalls some time with the Tempered Fate. It does buy Satab.
So we're looking at TES to not only bring home a Demacia Cup win, but I think in general, bring home one of the cups here when we're talking about LPL.
Minutes in here. Death timers are not extremely long, but with how close they are to unlocking the base and where the minion waves are, a couple of kills could have been enough for Top Esports to completely just take the entire base of ThunderTalk Gaming. As for now, they hold the ground, and they make sure that Top Esports are not in a position where they can just rip the Baron on sight. They are going to take their time and instead play for the third dragon of the game as 369 getting a decent chunk. Is he just going to solo out Hoya? Oh, man. If we're at this state in the Gnar and Ornn matchup, I don't know what else to say. It's that saving grace for Hoya. He tries to occupy the minion wave, but, you know,
Terror, and I just don't think there's much that TES can do wrong in this game right now. They are so far ahead. Even though it's only 7,000 gold, you have to think 3 dragons, multiple turrets, the experience differential, especially in mid lane right now. Cream being a level and a half up gives you so much, maybe in a group Nirvana sense where they're trying to end up top 4 and make it into like a season playoffs or working into potentially qualifying as a top 8 team.
Yeah. I mean, listen, if you're able to, you know, take a game off of JDG in your respective group, I think that is, you know, it's very meritable in that own sense, as Top Esports might just be making that game-winning engage, as Satab is going to throw a desperation Hail Mary attempt trying to flank the back line with that Between Worlds, and Cream is chunked out of the fight, but not necessarily in lethal range. Kanavi is trying to dodge on these bullets, and I thought that last one was going to curve, but Fog of War obscuring where Kanavi was and just barely being able to dodge out. ThunderTalk, they do lose their middle inhibitor, but they don't lose the game just yet. Down 8,000 gold. They're still in it, Dimitri.
They're in it in physicality. They're physically in the game.
Spiritually,
per the game rules and typically how advantages work, they're not in here. They are very much not in here, and that's going to be Cream almost finding a kill on the base one.
Oh wait,
but
really good
maybe
flourish.
make a turn.
I mean, Cream still has a flash to work with, so he's not in any real danger just yet. I thought for a moment maybe ThunderTalk could have the movement speed to wrap around and look for a pick that could have turned the tides in their favor and really put a stun into Cream's acceleration, since he is working with that BM book now, 10 stacks on the Magi Soul Sealer, but nobody from ThunderTalk can really safely make an entrance here onto the Baron pit. Beishwan was chunked out, so this is a safe time for Top Esports to rip that Baron. Now the gold lead
that I think are a bit more difficult to read, especially for how well they've done so far in their semifinals and even in their group stage. They made a big change, bringing in Flandre and Tarzan into the roster, and I think people were thinking, okay, is this AL team really going to be able to shape up? They probably are going to make top 8 here at Demacia Cup, but much past that, we don't know. We'll have to hold that question for tomorrow or in a couple days when Grand Finals is played. But TES just playing with their food right now. They're kind of fishing with some of the ultimates now. I think we're getting in that part where that restlessness starts to kick in. TES want to close this out.
Satab sends it, pops the Between Worlds, tries to look for Cream, but he gets blown up. Power of the Arcane, as Top Esports riding on that anime high, as they have the Power of God and anime on their side, and it's all about strength, it's all about power, and Top Esports have tons of it in supply. Cream adding up the stacks on that BM book, reaching 25, 7-0 and 5 on the victor. Surely this is an MVP performance worth deserving and rewarding for himself. GG to Top Esports, they sweep ThunderTalk out of the bracket.
That'll be a